Imagine leaving your home and crossing an endless ocean in search of a new world. Imagine building a colony on an unfamiliar land filled with forests, rivers, and mysteries. Now imagine returning 3 years later and discovering that every man, woman, and child has vanished without a trace. No bodies, no signs of battle, no evidence of escape. Only a single word carved into wood. A word that would become one of history's greatest mysteries. Croatoan. More than 400 years later, nobody knows exactly what happened. This is the incredible true story of the Lost Colony of Roanoke. To understand this mystery, we must travel back to the late 16th century. England was expanding. Powerful nations competed to explore and claim new lands. Spain had already established colonies across the Americas. England wanted its own settlements. Queen Elizabeth I encouraged exploration of the New World. One of the men leading these efforts was Sir Walter Raleigh. Raleigh dreamed of creating an English colony in North America. Such a colony would strengthen England's power and open new trade opportunities. In 1584, explorers were sent across the Atlantic Ocean. They reached a beautiful island off the coast of what is now North Carolina. The island became known as Roanoke. The land appeared promising. Forests stretched across the landscape. Fish filled the waters. Wildlife was abundant. The explorers returned to England with exciting reports. Many believed a successful colony could be built there. Encouraged by these reports, England attempted to establish a settlement. But the first effort struggled. Supplies ran low. Relations with local Native American tribes became difficult. Some settlers returned home. Others disappeared into history. Yet England refused to give up. In 1587, another group of settlers prepared to sail to Roanoke. This expedition was different. Unlike earlier groups made mostly of soldiers, this colony included families, women, children, farmers, craftsmen, people planning to build permanent homes. Leading them was Governor John White. White was an artist and explorer who had previously visited the region. He hoped this colony would finally succeed. After a long and difficult journey across the Atlantic, the settlers arrived in the summer of 1587. They began rebuilding the colony. Homes were constructed. Supplies were organized. Plans for the future took shape. Among the settlers was White's daughter Eleanor Dare. Soon she gave birth to a baby girl. Her name was Virginia Dare. She became famous as the first English child born in North America. The colony's future seemed bright. But trouble quickly appeared. Food supplies were limited. Relations with some nearby tribes remained uncertain. The settlers desperately needed additional support from England. The colonists asked Governor White to return home and bring supplies. White hesitated. He did not want to leave his family behind. His daughter and granddaughter lived in the colony, but he understood that without help, the settlement might fail. Reluctantly, he sailed back to England. He expected to return quickly, but history had other plans. At that time, England faced a major threat. Spain was preparing to attack. The famous Spanish Armada threatened England's survival. Ships were needed for war. Travel across the Atlantic became difficult. White found himself trapped in England. Months passed, then years. He desperately tried to organize a return voyage. Again and again, delays stopped him. Meanwhile, far across the ocean, the fate of the colonists remained unknown. Finally, in 1590, nearly 3 years after leaving, John White returned to Roanoke. He hoped to reunite with his family. Perhaps his granddaughter had grown. Perhaps the colony had prospered. As his ship approached the island, excitement filled the air. But something felt wrong. No smoke rose into the sky. No voices echoed from the settlement. No signs of life appeared. White and his men went ashore. What they discovered shocked them. The colony was completely abandoned. Every house was empty. Every person was gone. More than 100 settlers had vanished. There were no bodies. No signs of violence. No evidence of battle. No graves. No human remains. The settlement looked strangely peaceful. It seemed as though the colonists had left voluntarily. Then White noticed something important. Carved into a wooden post was a single word. Croatoan. Nearby, the letter CRO had been carved into a tree. Before leaving England years earlier, White and the settlers had made an agreement. If they were forced to leave, they would carve a message showing where they had gone. If danger forced them to leave suddenly, they would carve a cross as a warning. No cross was found. This suggested the settlers had not left under attack. But where had they gone? The word Croatoan referred to a nearby island inhabited by friendly Native Americans. White believed the colonists might have moved there. He desperately wanted to investigate. His family might still be alive. His granddaughter Virginia Dare might be waiting. But fate intervened once again. Bad weather approached. The ship's captain refused to continue searching. White was forced to leave. He never saw his family again. The mystery had begun. For centuries, historians, archaeologists, and explorers have searched for answers. Many theories have been proposed. One theory suggests the colonists joined the Croatoan tribe. Some historical reports mention Native Americans with unusual features such as gray eyes or English customs. Could descendants of the colonists have survived among local tribes? Another theory suggests starvation forced the settlers to leave. Food shortages were common. Without supplies from England, survival became difficult. Perhaps they moved inland searching for better conditions. Others believe conflict with hostile tribes led to their disappearance. But if violence occurred, why were no remains discovered? Some researchers think disease may have devastated the colony. Illness often spread rapidly in early settlements. Yet this theory also leaves many questions unanswered. More imaginative explanations have appeared over time. Legends speak of secret escapes, lost civilizations, even supernatural forces. But historians continue focusing on evidence rather than myths. Modern archaeology has uncovered intriguing clues. Fragments of English pottery have been discovered in different locations. Tools and artifacts suggest some colonists may have moved inland. Researchers continue excavating sites across North Carolina. Each discovery raises new questions. The mystery remains unsolved. What happened to Virginia Dare? Did she survive? Did the colonists build new lives elsewhere? Or did tragedy strike in ways history can no longer reveal? The Lost Colony of Roanoke remains one of America's oldest mysteries. Unlike many historical events, there is no clear ending, no final chapter, no complete answer, only silence, and one strange word carved into wood more than 4 centuries ago: Croatoan. Today, Roanoke continues to fascinate historians and visitors from around the world. Books have been written, documentaries have been filmed, theories continue to emerge. Yet no explanation has fully solved the mystery. Perhaps one day archaeology will reveal the truth. Perhaps hidden evidence still waits beneath the soil. Or perhaps the fate of the lost colony will remain one of history's greatest secrets forever. Because sometimes history does not give us answers. Sometimes it gives us mysteries. And few mysteries are greater than the lost colony of Roanoke. More than 400 years have passed since those settlers disappeared. But their story lives on. A colony built with hope. A future filled with dreams. And a disappearance that changed American history forever. If you enjoyed this historical mystery, subscribe to the Story Files for more incredible true stories, forgotten disasters, and unsolved mysteries from history. Because sometimes the most unbelievable stories are the ones that actually happened.